Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and wrapping up a great month of films through the Film Scram Movie Club with Akira Kurosawa, with probably his most famous and most epic film, Seven Samurai. And this is all 3 hours and 27 minutes of samurai film, just perfection. And Kurosawa wrote and directed this film. This film has influenced so many different things, like The Magnificent Seven is basically just a Western remake, throwing some cowboys and banditos instead of Ronin and bandits. And then, A Bug's Life is basically a parody in most senses to this film. And the influence, obviously, is huge. But what about this particular film? This film is epic. And it has a really long runtime. And it takes its time telling this sprawling tale of just this group, these townfolk, these farmers who are being preyed upon by these bandits. And then a group of these farmers go out into the world to try to find guardians for them and hiring samurai, Ronin, these fallen samurai, and they build this team. And this is one of the original super team up kind of movies. And there's obviously definitive parts in the film, and all 3 hours and 27 minutes are really utilized because there's a lot to say in this film as well. Before getting deep into that, but just from a technical standpoint, the action, it's gritty, it's messy, it's realistic, but shot so perfectly. So, the action might be really gritty and messed up and sloppy in the mud a lot of the times, and people swinging and missing and chasing after, but the camera work is always perfect, capturing the energy, the tension, the suspense, and just the driving forward energy of this scene that Akira Kurosawa is putting together. The music is amazing and just fills the film with energy and just elevates each of these scenes, whether it's heavy drums or softer music and somber music to hit some of the more emotional moments. You get connected to these 7 different samurai. And some of them might not make it to the end of this journey, and you feel that. And the great thing is each of these samurai, they're not just like cookie cutter cutouts of each other. They each have their own personalities. They have their ideals, their missions, why they're doing this, what they're trying to achieve. You have the young upstart samurai who wants to learn from the rest, but, gets caught up falling in love with one of the girls from the village. And that part of the story might seem like they're just trying to tack on a little bit of a love story, but what that does for the story is bring in complexities, because who are the bad guys in this? Because you have these bandits, but the farmers don't view the samurai as helpful, great warriors. They're afraid of them, and they have this perspective on them as well. And you get to the end, and that is felt so deeply because it's a bit of a somber but moving ending. Not going to give things away, but you feel that tension still at the end, where these men put their lives on the line. And is that really fully appreciated and understood by the people that they did it for? And you get those aspects. You have Toshiro Mifune's character, who's just off the chain hilarious and has so much energy and manic, and he brings a lot of levity because you need something to break some of the tension throughout a 3 hour and 27 minute film, and he brings it. He brings this manicness, physicality in the action sequences. He makes you laugh, and he helps carry through different parts of the film, because you have the first act, it's just putting the team together. And his introduction into that team is so very different from the rest and brings such a wild card nature to everything. And then he's the one having really a lot of fun with the second act of getting this town prepared. And then when you get into the third act of the defense of this town, he brings such an energy and a veracity to everything. And it's awesome to watch him on screen and what he does and how he carries himself. And at the heart of it, you have the leader, this old wise samurai, played by Takashi Shimura, who was in Akira, who gives an amazing performance in that. And he is the soul of this film. And he has an extremely memorable introduction into the film. And it says so much about his character. And he carries this film. He's the leader. He is the one who also tries to find that balance between the townsfolk and the samurai. And everything in between. You might not get to see a whole lot of depth in the antagonists in the film, but there's enough antagonism between the townsfolk and the samurai to fill that piece. And it's still building all this up to the end, and there's real stakes. They're sad, emotional moments and devastating. This isn't just like they come in and sweep the day and win the day. There's loss, and you feel that in this film. And Kurosawa, from start to finish, keeps the pace up, keeps the story going, brings depth and emotion to it, and that's why this film, 3.5 hours long, made in the 50s, is still so influential today. But I loved it. I love Seven Samurai. This isn't the first time I watched it. I own it. I have the special box set Criterion collection of Seven Samurai. And I'll keep on watching it throughout the future. But those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think about Seven Samurai and Akira Kurosawa's work as we're wrapping up his work this month on the Filmstagram Movie Club. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.